Hey everyone, Dylan here. We hope you enjoyed the conclusion of Phase 2, and we're excited to kick off the new season in October. In the meantime, I'm happy to report that me and Dalton's Patreon has passed the $200 a month benchmark, and as promised, we're launching a new monthly podcast exclusively for patrons. On Are You Afraid of Dylan and Dalton, the two of us will talk about anything and everything that's not part of our bootleg dark universe, catering directly to the whims of our generous audience. You can become one of our patrons by going to patreon.com/Dylan and Dalton. That's DYLANANDDALTON. Periodically, we're going to drop a clip from that show into this feed to give you all a little taste of what's behind the paywall. If you dig it, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. For $5 a month, you get this extra podcast, plus access to our Discord server, where our wonderful and welcoming listeners converse about movies, workshop creative projects, and geek out about Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe. It's really the most lovely fan community anyone could hope to have. So come join us. But, don't screw it up. Now, without further ado, here's a clip from the first episode of Are You Afraid of Dylan and Dalton, in which we dig into recent horror releases The Pope's Exorcist and Last Voyage of the Demeter.
In 2018, Dylan Roth and Dalton DeShane met when their two rock and roll bands played a gig together in New York City. Now, in 2020X, the patrons that be have called upon them to produce a special bonus podcast where they talk about movies and stuff. Are you afraid of us?
To begin with, I should say that I generally do not get scared by exorcism movies. I do not find them scary, and the main thing for me is, this is even true of The Exorcist, which of course is a great film.
Yeah.
The thing that the exorcism represents in terms of the real world fear, your child going insane, is the scariest thing in the world to me. But when you then tie that to a bunch of rules that are basically about, you can fight this by saying these particular words, especially powerful if they're in this particular language, and I stand at the foot of the bed and I yell at you with conviction, I can solve this problem for you. It's that thing where it's like, oh, now it's a thing I can beat, which I understand is the appeal of religion, is you take these things that are unbelievably terrifying and you say, oh, no, we've got a fix for that. This movie takes maybe about 2 minutes between my son is going insane and here's the guy who knows how to fix my insane son.
Yeah. Well, and also, I think there is another angle to that, which is the existence of hell angle, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is that if you are a religious person, the idea of a loved one being taken from you to eternal damnation can be actually scary. And I think, honestly, I don't think exorcism movies work unless the motherfucker writing them actually believes this shit. And that's what William Peter Blatty had that nobody else has had since. William Peter Blatty, who wrote the original Exorcist novel and also wrote and directed The Exorcist 3, the other good exorcism movie. I think better than the original Exorcist.
I haven't seen the original in a long time, but we did recently watch The Exorcist 3 together, and that movie fucking rules.
It's so good. And William Peter Blatty believes this shit. He is writing a movie about his own deepest, darkest fears, and that works because then he convinces you to be afraid of them. He is afraid of them. Everyone else that makes exorcism movies, it feels like they are playing action figure mashup with the tropes of The Exorcist, the film. But it doesn't feel like they have the fear of God in them. It's them doing the same possessed kid walk, which they do in this, where they're crawling on their hands and legs.
And they have to crawl on their hands, legs, and then they go up the walls.
Yep, and then someone's got to puke, and it's everyone is just playing Monster Mash with these tropes, and William Peter Blatty is the only motherfucker who's like, yeah, this could happen to you. And I want to show you how scared you should be of it. That's why he'll never be topped. He's the king.
Let's not get away from the questions here.
Yes.
Michelle asks, Barbie gift, do you guys ever think about death? Yes.
Yes, all the time, every day.
Are You Afraid of Dylan and Dalton? Available now to paid subscribers via Patreon and Spotify.